Yeah, man.
So,
I'm very organized
did
in that
we
front.
I'm not.
did we introduce ourselves? Like you did, Dom, but like we're recording,
Let's
right?
let's go from left to right. Let's go
Okay.
Adrian, me, and then Andre.
All right. So, okay, I'm Adrian. I'm a concept artist, illustrator. I've been working in video games mostly. My most recent work is for an RPG book. I had to illustrate like the entire images, and it's I'm a fantasy guy. I like organic stuff. I like creatures and stuff. And well, I'm now working on my own IP. I haven't really posted much about it because I'm still developing it. I'm still trying to figure out the whole story and stuff. But you can check my work at my ArtStation, Adrian Virlan. It's the same for my Instagram handle, actually. And yeah, I also post videos on YouTube like a
That
couple times a
shameless
year.
plug. I see what you did there.
Those are super helpful, dude.
No, dude,
love the
I
videos.
really need to get. I need to really get back at it. But yeah, I've been busy with different stuff, so I really hope I can get into it once again and be more consistent with it. But yeah, that's a first impression, I guess, of this dude.
Yeah, those paintings are super sick, dude. It's crazy how like you did them all yourself for
Thanks
that
a
whole
lot,
book.
man. Yeah, they were supposed to take more, but procrastination just hit me really hard. And yeah, it was also the first freelance gig, like the first, let's call it big freelance gig, right? That I had. Um, because prior to that, I was working in-house as a concept artist. And yeah, when you work as a freelance, you really have to organize yourself, I guess. You really have to mind your what's it called, like your schedule, and has to be on point. Mine was not really on point, and I got caught into this sticky situation where the deadlines were coming closer and closer, and I had to rush it. But it ended up being like a good experience for me overall, and I think I pulled it off pretty good, and I don't want to repeat that ever again. I want to be an organized dude, like I really want to
start with your desktop,
be more.
man, please.
That's good. That's a good. That's almost like an analogy to the make your bed thing, like every morning. I forgot who said that. It was like a military guy, I think. But it's like psychological, right? It's like, yeah, you start with something small and extrapolate it to something else, some other areas of your life or something like that. And this is going too deep already, so let's switch to Andre. Maybe he can introduce himself.
Okay.
I guess it's
Andre,
Dom's
you
turn,
go.
right?
Oh,
okay.
me?
Yeah, dude.
You want me to go?
For sure.
Oh, right.
Living the best for
All
last,
right.
right? So.
Oh, okay. Well, how do I say this without being awkward? All right, my name is Dom Lay. I'm a concept artist and illustrator. Well, I don't really do concept art anymore, but I'm just an artist. I just finished my art book last 2 months ago, and so that's sold worldwide. It's pretty cool being able to inspire those people, you guys as well. So right now, I'm currently just teaching and doing my personal IP, my new personal IP that's developing right now. Being able to work at Nexon here in Irvine, California was pretty fun. Working with Anthony Jones was a really good experience for me. Currently, I go to Laguna College of Art and Design, which is here in Laguna Beach. Got maybe like 2 semesters left, and then after that, I graduate and off to start my own business venture as a small entrepreneur, like Adrian, right? I mean, you're kind of like
inspirational, man. I mean, I'm not a mentor. I haven't gotten there yet, but
I mean,
you're following your steps.
You're kind of like an entrepreneur now, though, right?
Yeah,
essentially.
Sure, of course.
yeah, so hope to start that and build this YouTube channel with you guys for our first podcast. Should be exciting.
This is gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's a badass introduction, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I was like saying what I needed to say, but hopefully
How the
that's
hell do you
everything.
follow that, right? So
Nah, I'm not reading something. I swear. All right, transport designer Andre Pelaes.
okay,
You're
you
next.
almost got it right. So I'll take that.
Did I say your last name wrong this whole time? Is it
Yeah, it's Pelaes, but it's okay.
Pelaes? Okay.
It's
It
hard
was
for
the
like English speakers to pronounce it because it's not a like unusual thing. But I don't really care anymore. Okay, so I'm André. I've been working as a concept artist and illustrator for the past 4 years. And I've worked with things from illustration to industrial design to like graphic design and everything. So I don't really consider myself someone that is like just a concept artist, but that's what I like to do. And I like to draw cars. And I've worked, well, that's basically it. Right now, I'm rendering a car design that I did. And yeah,
nice.
that's it.
So where are you guys from?
Right, dude. I
A
didn't
bunch
say
of
anything.
introductions without anyone. No, dude. What about my privacy? Come on.
So I'm not sure if you guys have already like some topics to cover or something, or do we just go like we flow with the vibes of the conversation? How do we do it?
Well, we could bring up topics to the table. Whoever wants to ask a question, like a free open question for everybody.
Sure.
Something like,
Like,
how did you start your art journey? Something like that.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for our first episode, like people will like to know that a little more about ourselves,
Yeah,
right?
it's like your humble beginnings.
So you mean this for the next episode, or
You can do it now if you all
it
want.
seems like a
This is
good
part of the
follow-up to
introduction.
the exactly, yeah. Seems like a good follow-up for the introduction thing.
Yeah. So who wants to go
So
first?
do you want to start?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure, I
Whenever
can
I do
start.
that, I tend to talk way too much. So like, start with you guys, and then...
Okay, yeah, I'll go first so I can go to the bathroom after.
Okay.
way too much, man. Way too much.
Okay, so for me, it's been kind of a long journey. I picked up a pencil ever since I was a young kid, like every other artist who says that. um, I would do a lot of fan art when I was a kid. So I would just basically copy pictures. I know people think that's bad, but that's kind of how I learned and developed my skills over time. And so I'd say during high school is when I didn't do a lot of art. I was kind of just doing mostly studying, like a lot of math and reading and writing and stuff. Art wasn't on my mind at the time, but it was when I hit college, like towards the beginning of my college years in 2014 is when I started looking online. And I think some of my friends during that time were doing like concept art and stuff. So I was wondering like what is that kind of job, you know, like I didn't know that was a thing that people could do. And so I feel that was when the time I also met Dom Jaro. He kind of brought me into his group, and there was like a art group on Facebook that was called Art Dumps long time ago, and it'd be people from Cal State Fullerton. That was like the college he went to. So from there was other different artists kind of collaborating with each other and sharing art on that page.
Uh-oh.
We
I
lost
don't hear you
your
anymore.
sound, Dom.
Yeah. We lost your sound. No audio. Andrea, see something to fill this in the meantime. Technical
Okay,
problems.
random
Guys, can you hear me?
noises. Okay.
Okay,
See,
now
it
he's back.
worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Where did I leave off at?
A group on Facebook.
A group on Facebook.
Yeah, we lost you again. It's like
Oh, here we go again.
What?
it's all good.
Okay,
Like
now
it's
he's back.
it's just the first episode, so
Yeah.
no one
Okay.
is actually.
You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, now we.
I think it's every time you mention the Facebook group. Don't say it.
Yeah.
This page that I was part of.
Oh,
But yeah.
good.
So yeah, we kind of just grew from that page and started learning more about concept art, things like that. Fang Zhu design.
Um.
We might have a problem with Fang Zhu as well. Just don't
Yeah.
mention his name.
I don't know if I can go over
Seriously,
my
dude,
story
you just got
without
out
without
by the
saying
time you
his
said
name
it.
too, man.
It's so weird, dude.
Okay, that's really strange. Is it working now?
Yeah, I don't know. There is something like cutting off whenever like you talk for a couple of minutes. So
Okay. Okay. We're good. All right.
We're good. Yeah.
So I learned a lot from Fang Zhu's videos, and like he taught a lot about design and a lot about concept art, illustration. So I was really into that stuff. And then over time, I just kind of developed my skills and branched out to different artists that were on. I think ArtStation was around at that time. I don't know if you guys joined ArtStation around 2014 or maybe
Yeah.
a lot later, I
mean,
think.
2014, I didn't
No,
even knew that concept art existed, man.
they came. No, they came out in 2014, right? The ArtStation website. That's when it was created. Because I remember they were asking you for. I don't know if how it works now, but back then they were asking you for a portfolio. You had to send like a portfolio in order for you to be able to create an account. So they would decide if
Huh.
you can or cannot. Obviously, everybody
Okay.
could. You're right. You
Yeah.
know.
It was probably later, probably 2 years ago after that. But anyways, yeah, I developed my skills over time and got into more of the illustration side because I liked concept art, but I wasn't really a technical type of artist. I liked a lot of painting, less of drawing. So I was more into painting mood pieces and invoking a story within my art. And you could see that a lot in my artwork now. It's mostly like mood pieces and a lot of visual development, I would say, about my
A very
stuff.
painterly style,
Yeah,
right?
loose and gestural. So that stuff kind of gravitated to me more in terms of like how I design scenes and stuff. So I wanted to create my art in a way that I could enjoy, but also my audience could enjoy as well. So not just doing it for myself, but thinking about other people in the process and how like it can impact those people and be inspired and stuff, influencing other people. 2017 was when I worked on my book, Journey to the East. That was like a 2.5 year long expedition of stuff from my childhood. I liked a lot of stories and video games like Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider. So that was like an amalgamation of all those things together. So I was working on that like throughout my school year and like through the summer and everything. And my friends would help give me some feedback and things like that. So most of the time I was just working on it by myself throughout 2018 till now, 2020 of May. And it finally finished and it's now sold worldwide. That's probably my biggest accomplishment yet as of today as an artist. So it's been a long journey, I feel, from 6 years ago when I was a wee little small artist that nobody knew about.
And the book is
Holy
awesome
shit.
for whomever is listening to this.
So worldwide. How's that sound?
Yeah, from absolute
That's
nobody
awesome,
to people knowing about my work.
To a little bigger
It's
nobody.
crazy. I was literally a nobody, dude. Like nobody knew who the heck I was. I was just posting like really bad sketches on Facebook at first, and then I moved on Instagram afterwards. But I wasn't really posting anything on Instagram like during my early days. Just kind of posting random stuff. Actually, didn't really have a direction with my work, so I was struggling a lot just to find my voice. And Scott Flanders was my teacher, helping me to find my path to where I'm at now. So that really helped. And I'm super thankful for that because
Well, congratulations once again, man.
yeah,
Like it seems like a remarkable achievement to have created and launched and well published and delivered your own product, right? Based on your own world and stuff.
yeah,
That's
it's something that I never thought would happen in my artistic career. That sort of stuff just happens along your journey as an artist. You never expect things that are big to happen in your lifetime, but they just do. They just like come from behind you. And so, yeah, I think
Yeah, it
oh,
seems
you
like
cut again.
his time
once.
ran out, so like,
He's back.
I cut him off just because he was talking way too much.
See, I think we all talk too much, so we're all gonna have to
What a nice
cut.
mob we have.
Yeah, it's very hard to make a podcast with people that talk way too much, right?
We'll bring on one guest at a time then.
Dude, I feel
I was
like
kidding.
Andre is like this superior force. Have you ever seen him? Like no one knows if it really exists, right?
Yeah,
He
I'm
only comes in when he needs to, and he cuts you off or he lets you speak, right? Depending on the mood.
I'm just controlling everything inside your
Oh
mind.
shit!
The overseer.
That voice again.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll try to make it short because I don't like to talk too much about that. But basically, the idea is that I wanted to be a scientist, and I never wanted to be an artist. Actually, I just liked to draw when I was a kid, and I was watching those like spy movies and James Bond and some stuff like that. And it was always the scientists that created those cool gadgets that that the guys used on the movies. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that's what I want to do. I want to create those objects and those things and those cars and like everything that's cool about the movies, not the guy, you know. I never cared too much about the character. It was always about what they were using or the guns that they were using or things like that. And so you
So you
fast
were
forward
more
like
directed and attracted to the objects, like the props, right?
yeah.
Especially the technological ones, right?
Yeah, it was always about like how the technology was impacting the story, you know. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
when I was 6, I watched Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, which was like the first prequel, right? And
Yeah,
of course, like the spaceships, dude. When you are a kid, like that's the shit, you know. Nobody cares about
it
like
is.
Qui-Gon or Jar Jar because the adults were pissed off by those characters, but I could not care less about
Mm-hmm.
them. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, look at that Naboo starfighter. Like that's such a cool spaceship. And then on that episode, Anakin is just a little kid as well, so you identify yourself
Mm-hmm.
with him, you know, like
Talking
piloting
about
the
Star
spaceship.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 30 seconds into my introduction, and it's all about Star Wars. So
And I
then
love
again,
Star
like
Wars.
you fast forward like a lot and go over a bunch of stuff, but then in 2000 and like late 2014, I discovered concept art.
Yo, wait a
And
minute. You were talking about the Star Wars prequels.
yeah,
By the time they came out, you were having those thoughts about, man,
Yeah,
I
man.
would
Like
like to
I
do
want to
those
do this
things
ever
for
since I
films.
was 5 years old. I just never knew
Holy shit,
this
okay.
Dang.
existed. You know, like
Okay.
um
Damn. This guy's dedicated,
Shooting
man.
big.
my
He saw it coming from an early age, dude.
actually, like, it's a weird thing. Okay, so I'll make it less short than I would, but okay, so when I was 5, I saw this cartoon that was going on TV, and the guy was using one of those gadgets, and they showed this really cool 3D animation of a wireframe of the object going to the character and how he would use it and everything. And I was like, okay, that's what I want to do with my life. And then from that moment on, my whole only thought was like, okay, who's the person that does that? And like, if you think about it, in those shows, they always show the scientist doing that kind of thing, you know. So it's like your main character goes up to a scientist and he shows up the object and how he made it and how to use that, and it's an explosive or anything like that. So I was like, all right, it's the scientist, the guy that does that, so I'll be a scientist. And then, like, you learn after a while that science is a very broad field. There's like one guy scientist, right? There are a lot of areas that you can do science in. So
So you're what, like
So
5
you're
or
a
something
scientist.
by the
uh,
time?
by the time that that happens, like that I start to think about that, I'm already like 12 or something like that. Like that I
Okay.
start to realize that
Dang.
there are more
Mhm.
scientist types, you know. And then I was like, okay, what should I learn to do this? And that's what was the point on where in school, like by 13, I think, you start to learn chemistry and physics. So I was like, oh, so like if I know like how the chemical elements work with each other, maybe I'll be able to be a scientist, right? Like you can invent things because you know how they work
Yeah.
together and how they react and everything.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to be a chemistry kind of guy. And then like, oh, maybe chemical engineering is the thing because you are engineer, then you invent stuff. And like it went on and on with that idea, right? Always the idea of creating things underlying the was the reason for everything. And then I got into computer science college. Like the time went by, right? I wanted to be
Mhm.
an engineer and then a civil engineer to create buildings and then like all sorts of stuff in that vein. And then like when it came down to it, there's a point where like people look at you and say, okay, now for real, what do you wanna do? Because you started dreaming, right? And then it's like, okay, I like video games and I like computers, so I'll do computer science, right? It's a science, I'll be a scientist, and I'll be able to work in video games and I'll be working on my computer the whole day. And I got into college for that. And it was not it, you know. Let's just say that like in the first week I knew that it was not for me. I really liked programming, but I don't know, it's like I just knew it was not for me. So I quit college and I get back home all sad and depressed. And you guys are way too
How
quiet,
early you
man.
quit?
Like I lasted like 3 months in the course. So it was
Not
Months
early
bad.
enough, yeah.
in engineering or
Computer science. That is.
comp sci.
And then like I get back home and I was all sad and depressed and I like, okay, I need to like go to college, right? That's the right thing to do. So I found the next creative field that was the easiest for me to get in and like the one that sounded more realistic. So I got into advertising and propaganda. And
Mm.
like on the third year of the course, that's when I found out that concept art existed. Because I never knew that it was a thing, right? That people really were creating things for the movies. Like when I was a kid, I was dreaming about that. And
But the advertising thing was also like about graphic design and stuff like that. It was
yeah,
about visual
it was
stuff.
about creating stuff, right?
Hmm.
Because
Mm.
here's the thing, I wanted to be creative, but then like since I already left one college, now like it was the time to be realistic, right? Like who are the creative
Yeah.
people that actually make money? And all of that was without realizing that that concept art existed and that people like did that thing for a living. And I was not drawing for a bunch of years already at that point, right? Because drawing was always a thing when I was a kid, but then after you grow up a little bit, it's not anymore, because you have to start becoming more real about what you really want in your life.
Yeah.
And then I found out about concept art on the third year of college. That's a 4-year course, right? And I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. But like, I
Did
have
you go
How'd you find out
to?
about it?
okay,
Oh.
one at a time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you go to school for concept art, or do you learn by yourself?
I think it would be wrong to say that I learned it by myself, because like I was taught by books and online courses and that kind of stuff. Like I did, I think 2 or 3 online things, and the Scott Robertson's books taught me how to draw and
Yeah.
how to render. And like I'm heavily influenced by him. The very rendering that I'm doing, I have one of his renders like sitting as a reference on top, you know.
As a reference.
Yeah.
Wait, like an original sketch or something?
Yeah, one of his
Or
sketches is like on the reference board of this
oh,
very car rendering
dang,
that I'm doing. So
nice.
The goal.
yeah, man, I don't know, like every time that somebody asks me like how to do this kind of thing, I just send them the link to the book, you know. That's all that I do.
That's
So
my
I'm
answer.
not
He's a
as good at
master.
teacher as like Dom, because I just point them in the right direction and let them loose. But that's the idea,
Dude,
you know.
how did you find out about concept art?
Yeah, that was the funny thing, right? It was 2013. I got a sketchbook from a friend in college, right? It was like he traveled to I don't know where in the world, and he came back with a sketchbook for me, because I did these like abstract doodles, and I was like, okay, so people think that I draw well, right? And I started doing sketches in there, but it was all abstract, nothing like of an object or anything. Very different from what I do today. And then I found this channel on YouTube called Psychra. I think it's how it's.
Right, Sacra. Yeah.
Oh, Psychra.
And one
He's
day he had an interview with Mark Brunet, and like that's when it all like blew my mind, you know. I was like, whoa, this exists, what? And yeah, um, I guess that's it. Because like back then, since you don't know what to do and somebody points you like, hey, this kind of things exist, right? Then that's all that you
yeah.
need.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Psychra is a real one. I used to
Brings
follow
back
the
such
stuff.
old memories, man. Sacra. That's
Just
like early
well,
2007 or something like that.
yeah, trying to learn anatomy. Just type that into YouTube, how to draw forms, how to draw anatomy, and like his video would pop up, or like how to render.
Yeah.
I would look at that, I'm like, dang, so
Yeah,
pro. Get so inspired.
yeah, man. Those videos are
Oh,
really nice, you know. Especially if you're a
yeah,
beginner and you want to like know there are people out there that do this kind of stuff. It's a
yeah,
When you're just starting, like anything can motivate you, right? Like any kind of work you see, like everything is so badass, right? You're looking up
yeah,
to every single artwork you see posted, right? Like everything inspires you. Everything is like, yeah,
yeah, but that's
yeah.
I don't know.
the story, you know. The rest is history, as they say. It's like I
And
went
now you're
on
here,
and
right?
studied. Yeah, now I'm here. Yeah, like you advanced like what, 5 years,
The
and
whole
here
story, I
I am.
guess.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
keep going, keep going.
Okay, so I stopped in like what 2013. That's when I found Psychra, and then he made an interview with Mark Brunet, and I'm cutting everything short. Okay, so I heard about concept art. I was starting to like learn about it, and it was already 2014. And then I realized, damn, this is hard, right? Everybody that you see talking about it's like, oh, this is way too hard. This is way too hard. So I was like, okay, I'll have this as a hobby then. It's like it will be my fulfilling thing, you know. Like I'll do marketing and advertising as a day job, and I'll be a concept artist by night. And that's when I got into my third year of college. I was like in the first semester, I was very much with the mindset that this would not be my full-time thing. And I
Sorry,
met
what college degree is this?
the marketing one.
Okay.
Marketing.
It's the only one that I actually have. Like I stopped the other one
Mhm.
before anything happened.
Okay.
So I met this teacher that was like very big in the marketing area here, right? And
Mhm.
and I found out that he did paintings on the side, right? Like it was his hobby, and they were those beautiful paintings, man. Like on canvas, like traditional media. And I was like, damn, dude, maybe I want to be like him. Like I do these amazing paintings on the side, but my day job it's concept, it's
This was
marketing.
your teacher?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I kind of approached him and was starting to get close to him, like sort of trying to be a mentee of his, right? In marketing,
Mhm.
not related to art. And I realized something that like no matter what you do, like if you want to be good at marketing, dude, you'll have to hustle as well. And it will take a huge amount of effort, right?
Yep.
And no matter what you do in your life, it will take a huge amount of effort if you want to do it like well and to a higher degree of quality.
Mhm.
So that's when I was like, okay, so like if everything takes a lot of time and if everything is hard, okay, so I might as well do the thing that I really like. And this was in 2015. By July 2015, I started to post everyday drawings on Instagram. And by the Christmas of 2015, I got how to draw and how to render. And okay, now the rest is history. That's the whole story, the whole arc. Okay. So yeah.
Very
I
nice.
like how your teacher was like that the painting he did or something like that. That was like the
The
moment for you,
catalyst.
like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like damn, I want to do that.
Yeah, but
That's
it was
awesome.
weird because it was a moment of like, I don't want to become him, like I don't want to become the guy that
Yeah,
does that on the side. I want to
sure.
do
You
You
were
want to do it for
more
life.
driven
Yeah.
by the results of his work, right?
yeah.
Like you wanted to do that, you wanted to paint like that, but not really like the way he did, perhaps.
Mhm. Like,
But yeah, you
yeah.
get me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
It's okay, man. But yeah, that's the whole arc.
Nice.
So now I
That's
am
awesome.
what I thought the scientists did when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's funny that you thought about us like scientists, like
Yeah.
the
I mean,
artists in charge of designing those things.
yeah.
We're
I mean,
scientists,
artists
like
can be
if
scientists too.
yeah, if you think
Yeah.
about it from that perspective, could be.
Yeah.
We're scientists of this art, right?
Yeah, or
Like,
maybe
So
like movies just depict ourselves like very badly. They don't give a real description of the people that do what we do.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like when I was 12 years old, I don't think I would have figured out like how to search for the different jobs that are present within a film production or a video game production. I would only see the film, and think, "Damn, that's awesome." In fact, I wouldn't even know that there were such jobs as concept designer, concept artist,
mhm.
and all the subreddits of
Yeah.
those jobs, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
for
I wanted
me, it
to.
started.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, like, yeah, I wanted to go into concept art and illustration because I felt that was the easiest thing to do. Because I'd see all these other jobs in the production pipeline, like production manager, production assistant. Like, how do you get those jobs? Or like UI or UX. Like, how do you get into that or those other fields? So concept art just seemed like the easiest thing
Okay,
because
I'll clip that and I'll put on somewhere like concept art was the easiest thing.
Dude, this reminds me of some people who would go on the high school degree of art, right? It's not like a college degree. It's like still high school, but there's like a scientific one, and then there's like a literature one, and then there's like the artistic one. And I'm not sure if I'm excluding any other one, but yeah. And people who were from, math and physics and stuff, some of them chose this artistic one because they thought it would be easy, right? Because there was no subjects as math, for instance, so
Mhm.
it's easy, right? Just have to do some drawings, and that's it. And then they found out
Yeah,
that was fucking hard because they didn't like it. They didn't like to draw. So they
yeah,
were only there for to kind of get the title, you know. But the title comes at the price, right? You have to be devoted to this. You have to, um, yeah.
yeah. You have to really enjoy the stuff because that's kind of your fuel to keep you going throughout the years. Otherwise, you're just doing this for the sake of doing it, and
Mhm.
eventually, it's not going to be fun, and you'll lose steam over time if your heart's not in it, or your soul's not in it, or your mind, whatever. So
That's a
it's a
great
lot of
topic to
sacrifice.
expand on later,
Yeah.
maybe in another episode or something.
Yeah, now it's time
Um,
for Adrian's story.
Yeah.
yeah, we have
At
how
last.
much
Okay,
left?
now
Like
now it's the
15
time where
minutes or so.
you sit down and grab some popcorn because this will be a great one.
Yeah, well, um, I mean, I don't know how to make this sound less corny or less generic. Like we basically all of us start by, well, I always like to draw, like since I was a kid. But in my case, that's it. I think it almost always happens the same way for everyone. But um, in my case, as far as I remember, I've been always interested in cartoons in TV. I would love watching those cartoons and then trying. I remember it turns out I was doing concept art and concept design since I was a kid, like 5, 6 years old, right?
Damn.
I just didn't know. I just found out. I swear, dude. Like I kept some of those drawings since I was a kid, and I was designing like my own characters, their weapons, the name of those things, the vehicles, and the
Mhm.
superpowers, or some symbols or some graphic design for the logo of the character, stuff like that, right? And then I
Mhm.
would also like to kind of try and paint, like trying different techniques, watercolor, acrylics, pencil, pen, anything really. And then I ended up falling for pencil. I liked it a lot, especially in high school.
Yeah.
I remember I was drawing on the tables of the in class, right? Like on the surface of the table. Um,
Uh-oh.
and everybody was like, "Hey, don't scratch the table," like you vandalizing the. I was like drawing some wolf or something like that.
Just leave a
And
wolf for the next student.
most most of my friends were kind of impressed, right? I was like the guy who draws, sometimes not only in this class, but from the entire school, right? They would always come to me and ask me for help on some giant billboards or something like that. But the thing is that I've been always interested in copying what I was seeing on TV, right? Like cartoons, those characters and stuff. And then I got to a point where I was like trying to depict stuff from my life, like me and my dad in the park, or me and my mom going to the supermarket, or something like that. And then it escalated to like monsters and creatures and invented characters and invented places, trying to visualize different types of planet Earth with different
Yeah.
shapes in terms of the land and stuff. And um, I kept going, right? And then I remember I started doing cars as well. There was a show on Discovery I remember was overhauling, I think.
Dude, that
So there
was
was this
awesome.
guy,
Or
Chip
something.
Foos, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he would draw like such cars. I was mind blown by that, man. I wanted to do the same thing. So I was kind of emulating his like technique, right? I'm like, what does he use? And I was paying attention to the all the
What brushes did he use?
goods he yeah, what brushes did he use, man? So
The very
I would
beginning.
try to yeah, and yeah, I don't know, man. It just escalated from there. I was thinking of, as you grow up, you start thinking, like you were mentioning earlier, like, hey, where do I want to go with this? Like, I like to do this a lot, but I'm not sure what kind of opportunities are out there for me, because all I could think, honestly, was that I would end up painting stuff, right, and selling it in person,
Mhm.
like somewhere. I don't know, but
Like
I
on the
didn't know
street
how to.
or something.
Yeah, on the street or something by the beach. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how it worked. um and so I followed that path, right, in my studies. At least, like, I got the high school degree. I went to the yeah, I chose that way. It was cool. I learned stuff. It was mostly about charcoal drawings. Then comes the
Mm.
boring stuff about painting like cubes and a pear and an apple and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? um
So like
there were some
you
really
were
really
how old
yeah.
that during that time?
By this time I'm like 16,
Oh wow.
17.
That's why
Yeah.
you were the good one between the three of us. I see.
Oh, he is older than all of us, so
Yeah, maybe I should
more
have
wisdom.
addressed the age thing, perhaps. Yeah. I don't know. I came here when I was 9, right? So that's kind of like a before and after for me, because I remember paintings and drawings I did based on that. um and I still keep them, just to kind of look back and reflect on, man, look at this, and
Yeah.
uh yeah, I just remember that after the high school degree, I went to the I think I went for a graphic design oriented type of study, like was like what do you call that, like a it's not like a degree, really, not like a college degree, right? But it's, I don't know how to define it
Like a
anyway.
certificate or some sort of
Something like
diploma.
that. Yeah, yeah. It
Mm.
was it was advertisement graphics, or that'll
Mm.
be probably the name. I cannot translate it better. But what I learned there was mostly everything about graphic design oriented towards branding, logo designs, advertisement design, and stuff like that. Everything about graphics, right? Visuals. We
Mhm.
had an illustration subject once a week, I think, or something like
Well,
that. Like an hour a week, like 2 hours a week, almost nothing, right? And what's funny is that I wanted to go to the illustration degree, right, for that thing, and I didn't get in because my mark was too low. And they said, "Hey, you can't get in,
oh
but we
no.
have this other thing for you. It's like it's almost the same. It's almost the same. You can get in." I'm like, "Okay, then let's go." Turns out it was the best thing I've ever done, because I explored many other areas outside of drawing, right, which was my main focus,
Mhm.
such as photography. I bought a camera for myself. My mom bought it for me, actually. But yeah, I started investing in stuff like that, right? Like with the help
Mhm.
of my parents and stuff, I started to get like a camera and more gear for the camera. I was like super down for that, man, to learn more and to improve. And that's how I started to develop like this eye for, I guess, composition and colors and contrast and all sorts of visual theory you can think of.
Mhm.
And yeah, and that combined with what I knew about illustration and the branding thing, the logos, and I think it all came up to, you know, this big thing that I had in my head. Like I was kind of dispersed, like spread too much. Like now I really don't know what to do, right? because I like this thing. I like this thing. I like this thing.
I like everything.
I like everything. And
I think you have a more.
then, yeah.
Or is it? Well, are you talking about now, like your
No.
path, or?
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm like 18, 19.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought you
have
meant
no
like
idea.
today.
No, no. What happened was that it was actually 2012 or so, I think. Man, I just stumbled across this Feng Zhu guy on YouTube. Like, who's this guy? I love this thing.
2012.
Dude, this is exactly what I want to do, man. What's concept art? By that time I knew, like, I don't know, 2007, 2005. Like, I knew if I would Google concept art, those two words on Google, like, uh, awesome art would show up, right? But I had no idea what it was for. I didn't know the purpose of
Yeah.
it. I had no idea. I would just see a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff, and there was this guy Andre Wallin.
Oh wow.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, man.
yeah, art director,
It's a
right?
beast.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
yeah, I was saving his work in my computer because I would only always come back to look at that and try to understand how those sketches, right, were made. To me, I had no idea. Like, this guy paints, like, this guy's out of this world, right? Um Now I wanted to do that, and I started to kind of simulate that I was already working for someone, right, here at my place. And I would just do stuff like, try to imagine like different characters, different same thing I did as a kid, but now it had like a focus, it had like a direction, right? So I did that as I was starting to post online on Facebook groups, and I was never really onto forums and stuff like that,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, me neither.
probably because it happened that I was just at the right time to be on social media, I guess, where Facebook was starting to get like art groups and stuff like that. I was starting to network a lot, make new contacts, new friends from all around the world, and I started to learn English. And yeah, it was a nice growing experience, man. And I thought, dude, next year I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna just stay at home, right? And I'm just going to take every single video from this channel, and I'm gonna use it as a daily lesson, right? I'm gonna learn from this. It didn't happen because I got a job offer as a concept artist for this small business, a small development team. They had like a game, like an indie game coming up, and they needed a
Mhm.
concept artist. So they asked me to join. I joined gladly.
Didn't happen
And
because I was
Nice.
too good already. So like,
no, I was not good, dude. I was not good.
Number 5 years old.
Um, and
You're already good,
then
man. Okay.
then I yeah, 2 years later, like, after dealing with with stuff, I was kind of art directing at the same time. I was like a 3D guy. Like, I had to learn how to, how indie teams work, right? You have to do like a little
Mhm.
bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I was asked to learn 3D, um, not only for concept art purposes, but for functional purposes, like the final assets for the in-game engine to process. And yeah, that was kind of hard because I had no idea about anything in 3D.
Mhm.
It took me like 3 months to figure out there's like maps, right? For the 3D stuff, like normal map and displacement
Oh,
map and stuff like that. I didn't know what a map was. So that was kind of hard. I had no
I
one
hate that
around me
stuff.
to teach me about that. And yeah, um, it was kind of, yeah, kind of hard.
It's like a
But
learning
eventually,
lesson for yourself, like
yeah,
trying to learn
mhm,
everything.
absolutely. Yeah, I was, yeah, I was kind of spread again. but this time more focused, but spread nonetheless, because I didn't know if I wanted to do like landscapes or, environment concept art, character concept art, or creatures. The thing is that I had to do a little bit of everything, and I was kind of absorbing all this information online as I could. So I heard, Feng Zhu speaking about how you should be a generalist, how you should be a specialized concept artist. You should know how to do everything. You should know how to, you know. And I was like, dude, I need to know how to do everything, right? So I was not really focused. But then in time, I came to realize that I really liked um, environment, concept art, and creatures, and yeah, also character. I'm not really like a hard surface artist. I don't really do
Thanks
that.
to God, otherwise, like, there would be no jobs left for me. So.
Yeah. You're safe, man. You're safe. Don't worry.
Whew, that
Thank
was a
goodness
close one.
Andre is not a organic artist, otherwise there'd be no jobs for us.
Well, I've seen him trying to learn how to make like landscapes and stuff, so brace yourselves, I guess.
It's only the beginning.
But yeah, man. And then after this job, I spent like almost a year working with someone that I met there, and we worked on this guy's own IP, I guess, for like 9 months or so,
Mhm.
where I learned a lot about creature design, character design, not much about landscapes, but a lot of line drawing. That's the thing. I did a lot of variations, a lot of concept art, I guess, right? Pure concept art was nothing
Mhm.
like beautiful illustrations. It was
Yeah,
mostly variations of the same thing. Um,
like
and
orthographs, things like that.
yeah, after that, the ArtStation challenges started to kick in, and I joined the Wild West one. That was really cool. That's where I pushed. I really pushed. I was missing that illustration kind of thing, like
Mhm.
keyframe
Yeah.
stuff. And I pushed myself to the limits there. I put in the game like everything I knew about 3D, about how to join photo bashing stuff and images, and yeah, I was proud of the results. Now I look back, and of course, it's like everything can be can be improved. But a little bit later, I was just inspired. We got this little dog, and that's where everything
Yeah.
started to snowball for me. Like, yeah, it's so organic, dude. I love this little guy so much. Like, he means a lot to me, and I felt so inspired that I started to do like a little sketch, and that sketch developed into something else, which is now my project Heaven Orion, right? That I'm
Yeah.
working on since 2018. And day by day, I'm realizing that it actually started like way longer ago, right? Um,
Mhm. That's such an epic name. Just gotta point that
Yeah.
out.
Thanks, man.
I got
Thanks a lot,
chills when
man.
I
Many
heard it
people have
for the
asked
first
me.
time.
Yeah, when I saw that last slide, I was like, oh, just felt like chills down my body.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's
That
awesome.
unveiling.
Thanks a lot. Many
It's like,
people have
damn.
asked me about the name actually, but yeah, I don't know, what does it evoke in you guys? Like, what does it communicate to you guys? What's the first thing, like, you know?
It's like an epic adventure, or like something, something like massive or epic,
That's
like
the same thing everybody's. Man, I think I'm doing it right.
Clash of Titans or something, Clash of the Titans or
It's
whatever.
yeah. Many people
Yeah.
say like, I don't know, ancient space thing.
Mhm.
Something deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has some sort of religious vibe to it, like some
Mhm.
ancient
Hmm.
mythology or
Yeah.
something like that. And like, I don't want to
Awesome.
influence you or anything, but that like guardian dog kind of thing that you have going on, it looks like a creature of mythology, like one
Yeah.
of those
Yeah.
old stories that people tell that
Pretty
like
cool.
there's this creature that protects human beings,
Hmm.
and like I don't know, it's
Yeah.
it's
That,
a
that's
nice
that's
idea.
that's absolutely what's going on, I guess. Although it started like from a simple thought as, it was this misty morning, unusual misty morning. I made a video about this on YouTube. You can check it out, guys, if you want.
There he
Because this is
goes
how
with
it
the plug
started, right?
again. Okay.
Yeah. Just so we can
Okay, my
save some
turn.
time
No,
here, man. But anyway, I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you, dude.
Yeah. So we were hiking in the mountain, and I thought, man, it would be so cool if this guy if we could reverse sizes, right? But I could keep my human size, and he could be like giant, like my scale converted to him, right?
Yeah.
And when I got home, I was like, dude, I got to sketch this. This could be great. And then it turned into a painting, and that painting turned into some other painting and some more ideas and more ideas. And then I'm like creating more characters that have like giant pets, I'm like, dude, it seems like this world, what is
Everyone
this?
has a giant pet walking around.
Dude, when I saw the finished painting, right? I felt so intrigued. I felt so like a lot of questions started to arise, like who are these guys? What are they doing? What's this world? What is it about? So I started to kind of dig deeper into it, and it took a lot of time, but I'm finally figuring it out. So yeah, it's just like
Alright. Yeah, that's the thing about world building. Just stacking ideas on top of each other over and over until it just becomes this mass of awesomeness,
Yeah, I like this explanation about a gardener and an architect, right? In terms of writing, at least, it's almost like an architect has to have everything, previously known. Like you have to know the limits of the whole story and where everything goes before you start writing the story, right? And a gardener, what he does is like he plants a seed, and he nourishes that until it grows and it grows, right? You never really know where or which direction is going to grow, and that's the funny thing, right? That's the thing about it, that you kind of explore your own world as you go. And I think the nice thing is to have like a nice balance between both, to kind of know the limits and also to not know exactly what's going to happen. So you kind of discover it for yourself as you go. So yeah, I'm still
Nice.
working on it.
Yeah, dude. Can't wait to see it like all come together. It's gonna be
Thanks
awesome.
a lot. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, I can't wait to post more about it. As soon as I get off of me like some client work, I guess I want to do something on YouTube about it. Maybe some dev diary or something like that.
Yeah.
Some dev journal.
Yeah, I'm planning to do that too. Maybe for my book, kind of going more in depth into the intricacies, or like explaining what is happening in each scene, or
like
what's in this world. Yeah,
or exactly some speed drawing stuff, and then on top of it, you kind of explain what's going on with the story or what this very painting is about, and stuff like that. That's cool.
And we can talk more about IP building in another episode.
Yeah,
like how it helps and how it, can propel.
Like we have so much stuff to talk about, man.
Yeah,
even though
it's gonna be endless.
We've been having these calls for a long time now. I'm surprised that we still discover stuff like
new things,
our initial steps and stuff, right? Like, oh, I didn't know that about you. Like that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's the journey
of. Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the journey of discovery, I guess.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah,
dude.
Take people along with us. Our new audience, hopefully. People come to watch us. Let's see.
I guess that's gonna be it for today then, like, right?
Yeah.
This was a nice first episode, man. Yeah, I think so.
We can,
Yeah, I think so.
we can, 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 we let everybody know to follow us on Instagram, ArtStation, wherever. Now's the time to put in your plugs.
That's what I
You
was gonna
see,
say. Any last
Adrian, it's
words?
at the end of the episode, man. Come on, control yourself, dude.
I did it naturally and organically throughout the whole thing, right? Actually,
Alright.
I did it in my introduction.
We'll put like in every relevant link on the description, so like that's an easy way to hear my own voice.
But
Maybe we can drop like a link tree in the description.
Yeah,
Link
okay,
tree
so
is fine.
Cut out there.
I guess at this point, like everybody that's watching can see that this is the first episode. So like, if there's anything wrong or anything right, let us know in the comments.
Please let us know.
And we
Sorry
plan
for the
to.
long ramble.
No, I'm not sorry, man. It
Critique
was
is
fun.
hard.
So yeah.
Yeah, this
my
was fun.
part took like
It's a good start.
25 minutes.
Next one.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Then, yeah. See you next time. I guess. Hope you had fun. Hope you got something from this. And
Like,
yeah,
comment,
thanks
subscribe.
for watching.
Thank you,
Peace.
everybody.
Bye, guys.